On this episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast, we pretty much talked the entire time about how bands focusing on theatrics is negatively impacting their music. Thanks for jumping on, and let's open this pit up.
Somebody hit somebody!
All right, hey everyone, what's up? Thanks for jumping on to this episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I'm Kyle, and I'm here with Trevor.
What's up?
So, we wanted to jump on real quick and just talk about some of the stuff that's happened in the past week and some random questions we've got about music. But before we get into that, man, long weekend, Labor Day.
Yeah,
You
man.
spent some time outside, huh?
Yes, sir. And I was zero service. So as much as I would like to say, I was like listening to things and like really keeping in touch with everything. My phone was on airplane mode for 4 days. So I did have a couple long drives where
Yeah.
I forced my wife to listen to some of this stuff, made her listen to our podcast. And as much as my wife loves me, she's not the biggest fan.
I know. I think we're both lucky that our wives met us later in life. Because my wife always asked me the dumb question of like, if we'd met when we were in high school, do you think we would have like dated or been friends? And I'm like, first of all, like I didn't date in high school. Like I'm lucky that I could even talk to girls.
You want to talk about your dating in high school?
No.
'Cause I got some funny stories about your dating in high school.
No, it wasn't even like that. It was just, yeah. But anyways, like we would have absolutely not been friends because we did the dumbest crap in high school. And I don't think very many people liked us in general. So it's good. It's good that our wives met us later in life.
As much as we say that though, a lot of people tried to come and hang out with us. Like they may
That's
have only
true.
hung out once or twice with us, but they tried to come hang out with us. So I will say most often it was dudes, not a lot of girls. Let's be honest there. But I'm right with you.
I mean, we were super weird. But yeah, you're right though. We had like a good core group of friends, but then we had a lot of people. I feel like if anyone wanted a guaranteed like fun night, like no pressure, not worried about like trying to show off or look cool or whatever. Like if you just wanted to like sit back and just like have a fun night, they were always coming to hang out with us. And I know that sounds super pretentious or whatever, but like we had a good time and usually something crazy happened. And yeah, I know it's starting super weird, but like I remember the one time it was a kid that didn't even hang out with us much, showed up one night and we were doing a fire in your backyard and we lit his pants on fire twice, right? Oh, you lit his pants on fire because you're a freaking idiot. So I'll just tell the story real quick because I think it's worth hearing how dumb you were. But you had that fire pit in your backyard and we were going to pour gasoline on it, right? To get it going. And
so let's set the stage, right? So this fire pit, it's like a bottom container with a chimney going up the top. And I thought I could pour gas down the chimney fast enough.
You thought you could pour gasoline down the chimney fast enough to not let it catch on fire, right? So the first time you did it with the gas can, right? And it caught the tip of the gas.
That was the second time.
The
first time was with the No, you're right.
Yeah, it was.
gas can first. Then it was a Coke can second.
The reason why it's so he's trying to pour the gas down the like chimney part. The fire obviously travels up the gasoline, gets on the top of the gas can. You drop it. I run and kick it, and it spins in a circle and throws gasoline on this kid's pants and lights his pants on fire, right? So then he's rolling around on the ground or whatever, trying to get it out. Well, then I don't know what you were thinking because, I mean, clearly you didn't pay attention to science very much. You pour the gasoline in a soda can and you do it again. Like it's the exact same thing, man. Exact same thing. Did you throw it? I don't remember what happened.
It out of my hand, so I just tossed it. He just happened to be there again. So my bad. But
what was it? It was almost like. Do you remember that movie? Was it The New Girl? No, not New Girl. The New Guy, where the uncle's like roasting the marshmallow, and he like, or the kid's roasting the marshmallow for like a s'more, and it catches on fire, and he whips it, and the marshmallow hits the uncle or whatever in the face, and like burns his eye out. Yeah. I thought it was gonna end up like that.
It was like that, but also in my defense, what we were trying to do is our other friend, he always had like the latest and greatest cell phone. And we were trying to make a little bit of an explosion to take pictures with his cell phone. So we were trying to get cool, phone shot with our crappy 13 megapixel cell phone cameras back in the day.
Yeah, good times, man.
But
That
yeah,
I'll remember that because I was like, you know, what was it, like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, but both times it was shame on you.
listen,
Yeah,
man, I thought it was gonna work, and honestly, we had a fire. Okay, we had a great
yeah,
night in the end.
it's true.
So
It's true.
no backyard fires; those were always our jam. Played a lot of music back there, hung out a lot, did a lot of stupid stuff. My mom yelling out the window quite often at the stupid stuff we were doing, but
Yeah,
yeah,
dude. Like, I know like, yeah, you talked a lot about your parents and stuff being strict with a lot of that, but they let us do a lot of dumb stuff in your backyard.
they
Like when
also
we were
didn't
breaking.
know about a lot of the dumb
Well,
stuff.
I remember when we were breaking those boards over Tate, one of our friends, we were breaking boards on them because I don't even know how we found that wood. Didn't they just show up and they're like, we found a bunch of wood, and like,
I'm pretty sure they just had it with them.
yeah, they just had it with them or they found it somewhere and they pull up and they're just like, hey man, we got a bunch of wood. And of course, what's our first reaction? Like, let's break it on each other.
Listen, that was also for a fire, though. They brought it with them so we could make a fire. We
Okay,
had to
see,
break it. So,
that makes sense. But I remember your mom yelling out the window that you're going to give someone a concussion because we were holding the board and they were just trying to run through it and break it with their head. Yeah.
no, great times.
Great
Great
time.
times. And a lot of random people showed up in the backyard. But like you said, oftentimes random people hanging out. And a lot of it revolved around our music too. Like we'd introduce them to some weird thing, and we would have random kids going to shows with us or
Yeah.
showing up and things like that.
I
So,
mean, honestly, man, like not a lot has changed. I'm still trying to do that. Like I'm taking my brother-in-law to No Bragging Rights in a couple weeks. And I know that's not like the wildest show, but like since I've been part of that family, I have been trying my hardest to like pull him to a concert, and I finally got him to go to one with me.
nice.
So I'm taking him to. I'm probably going to bring him on, and we'll chat with him and see what his experience was
Let's
going
do
to a
it.
show like this.
Freaking love to see what he has to say about it. And I'd be really interested to see Mouth of War, what he has to say about them. Because
Yeah,
No Bragging Rights is one thing, but Mouth of War, they're a little bit heavier. And so it'd be interesting to get his perspective on that too.
not. It should be a good show. I'm excited to see it. So yeah, man, it's
But
cool intro. Glad we get to talk about how stupid we were slash are still today. Because
which, we had the episode with me, Chris, and Josh last week or last episode, and Chris was often part of that. So we'll have to get Chris back on here with you because I know you have
yeah,
a lot of Chris stories. So
yep, good old Frid Nips. If you haven't listened to that one, go check it out because Chris is a good dude. So
yeah, love Chris. So, but dude, you were just in Vegas and we talked about you kind of heading out there, but
yeah, it sucks. I hate Vegas. Have you seen the like big eyeball that they've, or like it's, I don't know, I think it's like an event center, and it's like a sphere, like a half sphere, and they put all these like screens on it and they are like projecting like an image, like, but it's like this big ball, right? And it looks, and they like half the time it looks like this giant eyeball.
is that the one when it was like raining that it was like shorting out a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago? Okay, I've seen pictures of it.
But
So
it was super weird, like seeing the plane descend and like landing in the airport, and it's just like this massive eyeball, like
staring at
blinking
you,
and staring at you.
the
Yeah, it was
freak.
creepy. No, man, Vegas sucks. I don't like it. It's not my place. But I have to go out there like once a year.
I've
So
heard like off the strip, like just off the strip, there's like some really cool, really nice places, like really good restaurants and stuff like that. I've got an uncle who has a house down there now. He's had a place there for a few years, but it was like a condo, so I never went and visited him. But he bought a house, and I'm thinking I might head down there at some point with my parents or something, go hit up some of these restaurants and stuff. But
yeah,
I avoid the strip like the plague, man.
I know.
It's just terrible.
Yeah, it's no fun for me. I ended up seeing Katy Perry, and that was something, I guess.
You sent
She
us
like,
a text saying that she was quoting like being on Warp Tour in 2007 or something.
yeah, she sang the Hot and Cold song. Okay, first of all, before we get into this, like, I don't know if I should be proud or ashamed, but I know way more Katy Perry songs than I thought I did. because she was singing straight bangers, dude, and like I knew all the words to it, and I don't know how. I don't like listen to Katy Perry, but I guess
Bro,
I know
you've
all of her
been to
music.
T
So
Swift, you've been to Ed
I didn't
Sheeran,
go to T
you've been
Swift.
to
Yeah, that
oh,
wasn't
well, your
just
wife,
just my wife did. Yeah,
but you're ingrained in a lot of
I am, dude.
the
I'm
current
I'm a
pop.
pop head. Yeah, I'm a pop head. So, but anyways, I saw she came out in this like mushroom costume. It was really weird. She didn't sing like 90% of the time. Her backup dancers did most, or backup singers did most of the singing. She would like run across the stage and sing like 2, 3 words, and then she would stop, and her backup singers would sing the rest of it, and then she would sing like 1 or 2 words, and then in between songs, she would lecture everyone about social media. Which like I've got my own qualms with social media, but literally it was like every in between every single song, she's just like hammering on social media.
And that's so rough just because you know that social media is half the reason that she is who
Oh,
she
for
is.
sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I have issues with it too, but let's not pretend like you're some social justice warrior for saying all this stuff when it was part of what earned you your fame.
Yeah, well, and people like her are part of the problem too, right?
Oh yeah, she's out there. She's on social media. It's like the things that she does, her antics are all over social media. And she's
Yeah,
obviously calmed down the last couple of years, but she was nutso for a
yeah.
while.
No, I know, and yeah, dude, she just like went off on it. And the other thing is like, I don't know, man. The productions just it seemed superficial.
Yeah.
You know, like she sounded fine. I don't know if it's because it's like a corporate gig and maybe she just didn't want to like burn her voice out for a corporate gig. Or do you feel like artists like that, when they do these corporate events, that it's like you're seeing that light at the end of the tunnel for your career and you're like, well, I'm just going to sell out and make a bunch of money?
I mean, yeah, yes and no, because the corporations are paying buku bucks for these people to come out, right? Like you can't say no unless like you literally have another engagement because like one corporate event probably could pay most people's salary for the next 5 years
Yeah.
kind of thing for these things. But I don't know. What I was thinking as we were kind of talking beforehand, I think the ultimate sellout is Vegas residency.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I don't know if she still is, but she was on one.
but that's yeah. So Katy
Yeah.
Perry is like the prime example, right? As soon as you go Vegas residency, and you're like, you know what? Screw y'all. I'm not traveling to you. You
You,
travel to me. Like that. That is the ultimate form of a sellout because now you're a lazy sellout.
yeah.
It's just like I'm just gonna go out. My backup singers are singing for me. And I'm collecting a paycheck. Here
Yeah.
we go.
I've been to enough of these like corporate events with some of these bands that they've hired or artists that they've paid for, and it's just like I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the scene we grew up in that like it meant so much to us, and it was like this like real emotional thing, and then you're just gonna like sell out to the man and go play some stupid corporate event that's like all this hoorah stuff for a business. Like, I don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Like, I like my job and I like the where I work and stuff, but like if you're an artist and you make your whole living and career off of bashing on that stuff, and then you sell out
And then go do it.
and go do it,
Yeah. That's a little bit of a slap. I don't know. I would absolutely love a corporation just to be like, yeah, screw this. What's bringing terror? You know, like we
I
talked
know.
about this. We
Yeah,
talked about the Super Bowl halftime show, like
yeah,
being like lifted into the air and people like hanging off the stage and stuff. Could you imagine just like a bunch of corporate people all standing there and watching terror just go like crazy on stage and just be
well,
like, what the heck? You
yeah. That's
know?
what I was gonna ask. Is like, what do you think the worst band could be that like a corporation could get for a? Because you have to remember, like a lot of these companies are all like middle aged.
Oh, bro,
You
we
know,
we talked about it. He's dead, but Gigi Allen, man.
okay, but okay, someone right now, like a band right now, who would you say?
Franzilla, Attila,
Attila?
Attila.
I
That's
mean, that's
pretty
good.
bad.
Attila, you could do like um Acacia Strain, I think would be pretty funny.
You know, like I think they would be interesting because they would just be like so aggressive that the crowd would be fun to watch. But like, I want someone up there who's like, what's his name, Franz or whatever, who like just says the most ridiculous
Yeah.
crap up on stage. So maybe gosh, Ronnie Raddick. What's his band? Falling in Reverse.
Falling in Reverse.
Falling
Yeah.
in Reverse.
Yeah, that would be. No, I get what you're saying. That would be kind of funny. Or you could get some like, I don't know, some like straight up traditional punk band that just like bashes on the man.
Yeah, that'd
You
be
know.
fun.
I was also so. Anyways, before we got sidetracked, yeah. So she played like Hot and Cold or whatever that. I don't know what the actual if that's the name of the song or whatever, but she was like, I sang this song the first time on Warped Tour in like 2007 or 2008, and she's like, I want to see you guys get like Warped Tour and stuff. And I looked at my coworkers and I was like, well, I saw someone get hit with a garbage can at Warped Tour. Is that what she's asking for? Like, are you going to get down on your hands and knees so that I can run and jump off your back into the crowd?
Go
Like,
crowd surfing.
yeah. Like, what are you asking for here, Katy Perry? Like, I don't, I'm trying to dogpile on the, crowd, but all these, people are getting mad at me. Like, what are you asking for here?
You're about to throw your hands up on your coworker's shoulder and Spartan kick the person in front of you to open a pit.
Yeah, like I went to grab my coworker to lift him up so he could start donkey kicking people, but they didn't know what to do. So
It's like, why are you touching me? This is sexual harassment.
Yeah. Like, what do you want from me right now? Yeah. Well, she did call out. She's like, who here's from HR? Like all these people started cheering. She's like, go home. We don't want you here.
Hey, I appreciate that, right? That's a little bit of the punk attitude coming back.
Yeah. But no, it just made me laugh hearing her call out Warped Tour, which is funny because we did see her in Warped Tour.
Oh yeah. So we saw her. I took my cousin that year and he didn't care for most of the bands who I took him around to, but he went and saw Katy Perry with me and he vividly remembers that one.
Yeah, all these people were like, are you excited to see Katy Perry? And like a lot of my coworkers know about my musical endeavors.
Sure.
And so they're like, are you excited for Katy Perry? And I was like, bro, I've already seen Katy Perry. Like, get in line, man. Like I've been there, done that. All right.
I only paid $25 to see Katy Perry. Screw you, corporation. Like, how much did you pay for?
Yeah. I mean, I got in for free. So
no, I know.
And free food. I didn't get that at Warped Tour.
Oh man.
Just got drinking out of the sinks and trying to scrounge for food out there.
Yeah.
Drinking all the free like Monsters and Rock Stars or whatever.
Did they have all that out?
No, I was saying it's at Warped Tour.
Oh, at Warped Tour? Yeah. I remember that.
I was too cheap to like buy a bottle, so I'm like drinking out of the faucets in the bathroom that are like
dude,
hepatitis.
so sketchy. Yeah. But and then they got all funky with it and they started putting water in Monster cans. Like, what the heck? Who are you trying to fool here? So
you haven't seen those? Like Liquid Death?
That's new, man. Warped Tour was the first to do that with Monster for the artists.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, Liquid Death is. Have you had one? Have you had Liquid Death?
Yeah. I've had a Liquid Death. I don't remember where. I think I got one at like a sporting event down here.
I was like, yeah, I'll try it.
It's water.
It's water in a can that I paid $4 for.
Water does have a taste, and there is bad tasting water.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at you, Aquafina.
I don't know.
Some of those suck, but it's like, yeah, Liquid Death was not cool.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I've got a serious question for you here. Mark Morton, who's the guitarist for Lamb of God, this was kind of cool, but I want to know your opinions on this. So he posted a statement saying, listen, the upcoming tour, we have a massive stage production that has like concussive explosions, fire, all of that kind of stuff. We know a lot of our audiences are ex-military and we appreciate your service and support. Fair warning, some of these things could be PTSD triggering. So, like, cool for him to say that because he's like, listen, our shows aren't cheap. We know we try to keep them down, but the price of tickets have gone up because of all of this kind of stuff. Appreciate the heads up, all of that kind of stuff. But what's your opinion? Like, should they be doing that? Or if they just know that that's happening, drop your ticket prices and hook some people up instead.
Well, I'm cool with them giving a warning. That's nice of them.
Yeah.
I don't care that they shouldn't have to stop what they want to do just because some people can't handle it. Like if you gave them a warning and stuff, then like before you bought your ticket, it's like, yeah, like you were saying, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like we talked about how the cost of tickets and stuff is just so expensive these days. And if you're like a band going out and you're like, listen, hey, we know it's expensive to come see us. Why wouldn't like there's a few
Uh,
bands right now coming back and they're like, we're doing everything we can to keep ticket prices as
yeah.
cheap as possible. So what's better, right? Do you want to
Oh,
have the
I'm
grand
one.
theatrics or
Yeah, I'm 100% on the boat of like I want a cheap ticket and I want it to be as raw and real as possible.
I'm
So
here to see the music. I'm not here to see flames.
exactly. Like, yeah, I'd go to a monster truck rally if I wanted to see that.
Listen, if you have a chicken you found on the side of the road for free, go ahead and sacrifice it. I'm good with that. But let's put
Yeah,
those concussive
yeah.
bombs off to the side.
Well, it's just like I feel like when did concerts stop being a way for the crowd to go and express themselves to the music instead of the artists up there showing off?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm gonna get flamed super hard for saying that, but it's like you would go to all these concerts, like even back in the like 40s and 50s, like we were talking about Elvis a while back. You go back to see Elvis, you watch him to dance.
Right.
Everyone in there's dancing. Like it's a performance, but people are there to express themselves too. Like, I wish that concerts were always more like that and less of like this theatrical performance. If I wanted to see the theater or a movie, I'd just gone to see a theater or movie. It's
See,
going to be
now
cheaper.
there are some specific exceptions to this, though, right? Like Ramstein, they are known for their grand production. Now, I will be honest, I am not a Ramstein fan. I don't know their songs and stuff like that. But if you like, I have seen clips of their music and stuff like that. They build monster sets, but you're essentially going more or less for production. I'm not a fan of just random bands doing this kind of stuff for production value. Go ahead and use lights, go ahead and use strobes and stuff like that. Go ahead and do banners and all of that kind of cool stuff. When you start to get to pyrotechnics, that's where it starts to get a bit much for me.
So that's the line for you. It's just
That
pyrotechnics.
I mean, for the most part, like if it's something that's just like the different venues are going to have different house lights and they have like light settings that flash on and off, like
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I
So
mean?
like, did you go to that show when we saw the band Circus Survive? And they had like that might have just been me and Chris, and
I
I can
think it
talk about
was.
Chris now because he's been on the pod. So we went and saw Circus Survive way back, and they had like bubble machines and
And
like shot
confetti and
confetti into the
stuff.
crowd. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, it's again, like I feel like nothing's gonna happen there. No one's getting a PTSD
Oh man.
traumatic experience from confetti
What if the
landing on their
bubble
head.
like went on your head and tried to suffocate you and
Well, then you have a whole another set of problems, and you
you
probably
shoot
you
okay,
probably shouldn't be leaving your house if that's gonna happen. So,
shooting a cannon of confetti? I mean, that could probably trigger people.
if it's loud, I guess I
No,
would
it
agree.
was way loud.
Oh, then I don't know, man. It's just hard. It's like the pyrotechnics and stuff like that. Like number one, it's dangerous. You know what I mean? Like there's a
This is
chance of
dude,
something going wrong.
I mean, out of all the things that we've talked about and like the danger it shows that we've been a part of, and you're worried about pyrotechnics, it
Listen,
seems. I mean, we saw a guy break his back, and all that remains from jumping off the speakers, and you're worried about some guys playing with fire. You know.
that was self-inflicted. That was a faulty pyrotechnic. So
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? If you're an idiot and you want to jump off the speakers and break your back, like hey, that's part of the show. That's part of the fun. You want fire thing to go off and burn down the venue because it messed up, dude. That's a whole nother level kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
I mean, they're not doing pyros in like a place that's going to burn down. Are they doing like outside stages? Okay, regardless, it doesn't matter. I don't really care. I mean, I don't think they should be doing it anyways. But I'm not saying that like that's the line that I'm drawing on stuff. I don't think they should be doing any of it. I think you should get up there and be playing your music for the people in the crowd,
yeah,
you know,
like I said,
so
I
that they
feel
can
like
react and yeah.
yeah, there's like exceptions to this. I said Ramstein. I think one of the
But see, I don't even think
popular
they should be doing it.
yeah, no, I mean like sure, but if you like go and look at like a Ramstein set, like they're outdoor, they're massive buildings, like it looks like you're going to the theater. Like it's super crazy the stuff that I've seen come out from
Yeah.
there. And so
Bad.
like if that's your thing, great. I think the band currently like in the scene is Ice Nine Kills. Ice. Have
I've
you
never, I know, yeah, I know who they are, but I've never listened to a single
or
song.
Ink, yeah, Ice Nine Kills. But he like he's done like a whole they're all into the horror genre and stuff like that. So he has like theatrics going on with like fake blood and like people getting murdered up on stage and like all sorts of weird crap. And people are like all into that, but like it's part
Okay.
of the show, right? So, or Guar, here we
Yeah.
go.
Are you okay with that?
You know what?
For those, hold on. Okay, for those who don't know, Guar famously or infamously sprays animal blood on the crowd.
Right,
You
exactly.
cool with that?
You're going to Guar and you know what to expect.
All right. So if you're going to see these guys, you know what to expect, right?
Now you do, but how many tours did Lamb of God do that never had this? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like I get it. Like you're more popular now, you have the money, you have the opportunity, you can do it. I guess like it's fine. I'm more under the impression though, like if you're there just playing music and every now and again a flame shoots up behind you, like whatever.
I don't
Like
know, man.
make my
Yeah.
ticket $10 cheaper. Like I'd much rather you do that.
Yeah. No, I agree with the ticket prices. Ticket prices are freaking insane. But I mean, if you're going to go see Ramstein, I think you're pretty much expecting to pay a ton of money anyways. Or Lamb of God. Like, I don't think you're going to Lamb of God anymore thinking you're going to spend less than 80 to 100 bucks for a ticket, right?
Yeah, man, isn't that crazy though? Like we could have gone and seen Lamb of God back in the day for like $30.
Yeah, probably. So I don't know. I mean, I've talked about it before. Like some of the pop concerts I've gone to with my wife, like it feels more like a theatrical performance to me than like a full blown. Especially thinking about Katy Perry that I saw, it's like you're out there to like perform in the way that you would at theater. Not, I didn't look at it as like a musical concert. I looked at it as a like a musical theater performance
Okay.
because that's what it felt like. I mean, she's barely even singing, you know. She's got the big production too. She's got fireworks and sparkles shooting up, and she's wearing some weird mushroom costume, and that's just that to me is not like what I consider to be the real music and concert
Yeah.
experience. You know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I guess you just have to decide what you're going for. Are you going for the production? Are you going for the music?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool either way. I mean, like we've talked about it 100 times, but when I went and saw Ed Sheeran, like I wanted him to sound good. You know, I'm up in the freaking nosebleeds of the stadium. Like it better sound good all the way up there because I paid money for it. So I get from
Right.
that point of it. But if I want a real raw, like actual musical experience type thing, then that's not me. It's going to no bragging rights in a couple weeks where there's probably only gonna be 30 of us and
Right.
I'm going to walk out of there hurt, you know, like that's more fun to me.
Right. No, I'm right with you. So,
So I read online that Slipknot is trying to do like a biopic and a
okay.
documentary. One of the guitarists talked about how they want Tom Hardy to play them. I don't
Slipknot.
I don't
Okay.
think that you like so when you make like a biopic in a documentary, especially someone like Slipknot, do you get to say who plays you?
I mean, I think you could ask, right? It never hurts to ask,
Oh, I know, but like they're not going to walk in there and be like, Tom Hardy, you're playing. I mean,
right? Also, Tom Hardy is not playing the guitarist. Tom Hardy is playing Corey. He's playing the
yeah,
vocalist,
yeah.
right?
So who would be the like worst people to cast for a Slipknot biopic?
The worst?
Yeah. Or who's the best then? I mean, okay, Tom Hardy
Yeah.
playing the vocalist.
You know what? Tom Hardy, I'd put Tom Hardy as clown. I'd probably put him on the drums with a bat
Yeah.
hitting a keg. I think Tom Hardy could get pretty freaky doing some stuff like that. Dude, I'm so bad with actors' names. That's my problem. Because I'm like, do you want this to be serious or do you want this to be comedy?
Right. So
You
how do
know?
you think that could you do a Slipknot biopic and be serious?
Uh,
Is it going to end up like, did you see the Weird Al movie? It's going to end
yes.
up
Oh
like
my
that.
gosh. That was next level
It
over
really
the
was
top.
great, dude. It was
Like,
awesome.
what's his name? Harry Potter?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. Radcliffe.
Yeah, he killed it, dude. He killed it.
It
It was
was
awesome.
insane. Just opening with like the accordion dealer.
Yeah.
Like
You
it
know,
was.
what's funny is that like Weird Al like directed it and produced it. And
Yeah.
so like he's up there, like the whole story is just this huge joke. And it's funny because it's Weird Al that's telling the story. I love it.
I mean, that's Weird Al, man. Like, how long have you listened to Weird Al? Since we were like 8?
Oh, I don't know that there's been a time that I haven't been listening to Weird Al. Dude, I freaking love Weird Al. I think the
So
other day I was singing I'm fat.
Yeah.
I think like just a couple days ago, I was singing I'm fat in the kitchen.
I think
So,
like the best thing about that though was all of a sudden Jack Black shows up out of nowhere.
yeah,
So like I feel like anything music related, if you want it to be good, you got to put Jack Black in it.
for sure.
I'd also put who's the other Tenacious D guy, Kyle
Kyle
Grass,
Gass.
yeah, Gas.
Kyle
I
Gass, who's
put
like,
him in there.
dude, he's seriously like one of the best guitarists
Oh,
of like
he's
art.
so
He's
good.
incredible. He's incredible.
Tenacious D, I love Tenacious D, and I got in so much trouble accidentally leaving them on in my parents' car at
Yeah.
one time. Yeah,
Like Pick of Destiny. Was it that album?
yep, it
Yeah,
was.
dude.
It was Pick of Destiny.
We used to sing
My
Kickapoo all the time.
right, my dad came in holding the CD, and he's like, "What is this crap?" I was
Yeah.
like, "It's Jack Black, Dad. It's fine."
The song that he did, that Tenacious D has, that Dave Grohl's "The Devil."
Yes.
What song? It's the greatest song in the world. Is that what it's called? This is not the greatest song.
Yeah, a tribute.
Tribute. Yeah, tribute. So yeah,
Yeah.
Dave Grohl's "The Devil" in it. It's pretty
So
funny.
good. So good.
Yeah.
But back to your original question. I don't know if I could go through and name actors for all of it. If you're doing Slipknot, their story's crazy. I would probably want it to be more of a comedy, but they're going to want it to be more dramatic given just who they are. I think it could make a hilarious comedy though.
Yeah.
A masked band. Like let's spoof masked bands. Slipknot, Mushroom Head,
Dude, tons of bands are doing it.
Hollywood Undead. Like let's
Okay.
spoof
Oh, that's
masked bands.
it's a band I haven't thought of in a long time. How do you feel about those bands that wear masks? And how far is too far?
I mean, like, it's not the music I listen to. Like, I'm not really
Yeah.
a fan of the music.
I'm not.
But,
I'm not a Slipknot fan at all. I don't think I can name a single song from them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I actually listened to probably their last, I think it was 2 albums ago. I don't know if I listened to the whole thing, but I listened to a couple songs off of it. I mean, it's metal, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of that metal music. Again, not a fan of it, but I can see the appeal. And obviously, they have a massive following. I don't know. I don't know what you would consider too much. Just doing a mask and being up there and being crazy, like, great. That falls into the theatric stuff that
Sure.
we were just talking about.
Sure.
I'm not going there for the music. I'm going there to watch a guy in a clown mask hit a keg with a baseball bat. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I mean, the only people I think that have ever done it right is Daft Punk.
I mean, like, in terms of
don't
like
like-
actual music, or like, what do you mean doing it
Both.
right? Like, I guess that's my question.
Music and the masks.
Just
Daft Punk's
because,
sick.
like,
Because Daft Punk's sick.
okay,
I will be honest, man. Like the mask stuff with Slipknot's probably a big reason that I never listened to them.
okay,
Because it's not like I don't listen to heavy music, right? It wasn't the music that put me off. I just didn't like the mask stuff. I thought it was weird. I was like, nah, that's not
no,
me.
it was the music that put me off. Like, I don't care about the mask.
I mean, I figured that like I'm not missing much, but outside of Daft Punk, I guess if you are, I don't know that there's another band that has worn masks like that I've ever thought, hey, this music's good. So maybe that's like a scientific correlation here, you know?
I mean, okay, so now let's start quantifying this, right? Is it just masks, or are we talking face paint? Are we going black metal here? Are we going corpse paint? Like,
I mean, I don't really listen to a lot of black metal, and I'm not a big corpse paint guy. So,
but
I mean-
like, is there something just about like theatrical music in general? I guess is probably the question. Like, is it once you get to that realm, and we just talked about this though, at some point, has music taken a back seat to the theatrics? And is that why it's just like
maybe
meh?
you might have cracked the code. I think you maybe get to a point where it's not about the music anymore. It's about the theatrics, and the true spirit of that music is lost.
Because, like, are you seriously sitting down and listening to black metal where the guy is shrieking and they're just tremolo picking everything? Like,
Probably.
I can't get into that, right? I've listened to some crazy crap, but like black metal, shrieking, that kind of stuff, I'm just like, eh.
There's like a huge racist movement in black metal right now.
Well, sure. Right.
No, I'm serious. Like, Like all the like Nazi stuff from punk music has gone to black metal. It makes sense about the white face.
Just try to get as pale as possible.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
eventually they're just gonna like
There you
do
go,
white
dude.
with like more white instead of like
Yeah.
the black corpse paint around their
Yeah, they're gonna start dyeing their hair blonde and you know?
just look
That's
like a
what
ghost instead.
exactly. No, I mean
Oh
I
man.
hear what you're saying. And I honestly like I think that's a pretty big brain take that like the more theatrical the like band is, the worse the music is. I mean, we might have to like deep dive this and like, well, I'll get a whiteboard. I've got a whiteboard in my closet there. We might have to like graph it out of like more theatrical quality of music. Like I'm sure it, you
There
know,
has to be like a point.
yeah,
There's
where it's
got,
like it doesn't matter how good like your music cannot get better if you are this like level of theatrics
but
on
at the same
stage.
time, you do cool enough corpse paint, you can play noise wall and
Because
you're good.
because honestly, dude, though, like it's not like specific to just like black paint and masks, but like even in the hardcore scene, dude, like you get to a certain point where it's like, hey, the tough guy trope at this point, it's just theatrics, right? It's not even music.
So you're calling out a mirror right now?
I mean, I didn't say
If the
it
glove fit.
either. Yeah. I mean, Amir was cool to see back in the day, but holy cow, did they play off of that whole time? I just remember their Facebook thing that was like from New York, be kill or be killed. And I'm like, so are you admitting to murder or like, yeah,
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Like I actually really liked the first couple of Mirror albums, but once it was like, oh, which album was it? I think it was Speaker of the Dead. That was the one that put them over the top for me. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going any more past this. Or
yeah.
felt maybe it was Felony. I don't remember one of those two. So
No, dude, I honestly think, like, seriously, I think you just cracked the code. That like, because I think all these bands that we've talked about in these episodes that we've done, that it's like the more that they focused on the theatrics of it, the like worse their music got.
I mean, that's true. Like the big productions,
Yeah,
they definitely started falling down. Like we're going to be talking about a band coming up that I feel like they just started to focus more on, like you said, the tour, what the show looked like, and stuff like that. And honestly, the last album, it's not good, right? And we talked about it with Parkway. We talked about putting on the long cloaks like Disturbed and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that, and like it turns into like photo shoots and stuff like that as
yeah.
opposed to good music. So
No,
yeah,
dude, I think you cracked the code.
it's
So,
it's interesting, but
oh, podcast done. We don't have to ever talk about anything ever again. We just solved it, dude.
don't listen to face paint and mask bands. There we go.
Yeah, shoot. One more question I had for you. And I feel like it's kind of appropriate to ask this right now with all the crap that we've just talked about, but is there too much music?
Is there a way to answer that? Because like honestly, like everyone can listen to whatever they want. So like we don't have to listen. We don't. There's literally no way to listen to all of it. You know what
I
I
mean, there
mean?
freaking Spotify and Apple Music feels like there is.
But like you only have so much time in a day. So like is it
Yeah,
even worth the brain power to think about all the crap that's coming out? Or do you just stay in your lane?
but that's what I'm talking about though is like I don't know. I just cuz we were talking about back in the day of like having to go to like a CD like a store that sold CDs,
Yeah.
like a
Record store.
pretty yeah, record store, pretty popular. I forgot that word too, dude. Yeah.
Another Grammy situation right there.
Yeah, but we were just talking about how you had to like go to CD stores, record stores to buy. I freaking said it wrong again. You had to go to record stores to buy records on the record player. No, buy CDs and stuff, and it was like you could only find the music that was at this record store or that you saw live.
Yeah.
But now it's like you listen to a band on Spotify or Apple Music, and you click on their recommended artist, and you click on their recommended artist, and you click on their recommended. It's just like music overload. And so I just like I legitimately thought like, is there too much music?
Yeah, but we talked about this as well with MySpace. Or I guess we talked about this with Chris with MySpace. MySpace is what started this. You would go to the top 8, click on their top 8, click on their top 8, click on their top 8. Like MySpace started this deep diving of genres and deep diving of similar artists and stuff like that. And we found a lot of really cool music from it. You know what I mean? So like,
But I feel like that was okay, but that's like just starting out. And that's, like the introduction to a lot of that. Not every band had access or uploaded stuff to MySpace. So it's like you couldn't find everything that was out there. I
yeah,
don't feel like, the introduction to MySpace really like made me feel like what I'm feeling now of, there being too much music. But I just, all these bands are coming out. There's all this music. There's all this stuff. Like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Is it saturating it? Is everything just going to sound the same?
personally, okay, I 100% see where you're going with this. There's so much music that does sound the same, but also it's that much more gratifying when you hear something that blows you away today because
Okay.
of how much stuff there is. So maybe that's the trade off. We have to sift through so much crap these days to find the extraordinary. You know what I mean? Because we've talked about it. We've talked about just every time we start an episode, what have you been listening to?
Yeah.
There's always something new. There's always a new band, a new song, a
Yeah.
new single, and so many of them are crappy metalcore. They're not good, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like gone downhill and it's a formula and we don't like it. But that's where when like that new, let's say the story so far, when that new Big Blind single comes out and it just catches you, it's like, oh my gosh, okay, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was missing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's the trade off, right? I'm going to listen to a crappy Silent Planet metalcore song to hear the story so far, Big Blind. So,
All right. That's fair. I mean, I'm glad that they're like things are more accessible in a sense. I'm glad that like kids these days have I don't want to say an easier path, but a more clear path on how to do this. So like I appreciate that, but I also like, man, there's a lot of crap out there. And it's hard to filter through. It's become a business too much. And I'm sure that every freaking generation was saying the same crap,
yeah.
But this is just me getting old thinking that.
No, there's something to that for sure. And I'm going to ask you this because of this question. I feel like it plays off very well. But when we were talking to Chris, I was saying I get like physically exhausted listening to so much of this. Like
It's weird.
there's so much mental
Go
wear.
to the doctor for that.
Probably, right? Probably got something going on. But like we talked about this early on in this podcast, but I get physical reactions
Yep.
when it
We
comes to
talked
like
about that. We
good
don't want to,
music, right?
I said it last time and I'm going to say it again. I want to hear about those physical reactions, dude.
But like it just like when you hear that breakdown and all of a sudden you get that shot of adrenaline or something that happens at the end of it, if it was good, I'm like tired. But if it was bad and all of a sudden I got that physical like shot of adrenaline and then it's bad, I'm pissed. I'm like, this was
Yeah.
absolutely wasted energy listening to this. So like, I
So
mean, do you get that way? Like, do you get
no,
like, no? All right.
not at all.
I'm just
So
weird
I
then.
take vitamins, and to be honest, I listened to what you guys were talking about. I thought it was really interesting, but I love new music. I probably listen to more new music than I do old music right now. And at least maybe not okay, maybe not new 2023 music, new to me music.
Sure.
And so, no, dude, I feel like, yeah, I love listening. The hardest part, and like I was asking, is it's just hard filtering through crap to find the good new stuff. But even then, like I'm, like getting back into like really traditional hardcore, more punk influenced stuff. So going back and listening to a lot of that, I found a ton of new bands that I wish I would have known of back in the day. But it's also led me to a lot of like new bands that I think are really sweet, and I'm a huge fan of it. So
Yeah.
most of my playlists on Apple Music are a lot of it's new music
Yeah.
mixed
And
with
I
some
mean,
old, because I do still go back and listen to older stuff. But
for sure.
I think there's great music out there. But it's like, yeah, it is. I will say that it is harder to find though the new music that's like, hey, this is different, this is great,
Yeah.
this is genuine, this is real, this is an industry plant. This is
Right.
this
Right.
is good stuff. But it's definitely out there.
See,
So
and I think that that's also part of what I've liked doing lately though is like because there's so much out there, if I find a podcast with a band and I actually like resonate with what they're saying on the podcast, their story and stuff like that, it's easier for me to connect to their music. So like the latest one that did that for me was like Mugshot. Like
Okay.
Mugshot was a band that I was only like meh, they're only okay. And then I watched they did a pod with Garza from Suicide Silence and them talking and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, cool kids, like down to earth, the way that they decide to like write music and stuff, like that's sweet. And like Mugshot's better for me now. So I
Right.
think I almost have to have that level of connection at this point in time.
I mean, that makes sense. Cause again, like I think we've listened to lots of music and
Well,
lots of different genres. And so it's more like I feel like being this far down the rabbit hole that we're in, it's more about just the sounds that come off the guitar and stuff,
yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So, cause back in the day, dude, we would have listened to freaking anything.
We
And it's been
did listen
hard.
to
Yeah, it's been
anything.
hard going back and listening to some of these bands because it's like, what the heck was I thinking? You
Yeah.
know?
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I still like that. I still like Stick Away from Attack Attack.
No, I can't even do it, dude. I can't even do it anymore.
I still like Headshot from My Children, My Bride.
Okay, that's sick. And they just like dropped a whole bunch of new merch and it's tight.
I
So
saw that. I saw that. So
no, some of it I go back and listen to and think, yeah, I was in the right place. But then there was other stuff that was like, I should have never done this.
dude, like I got such a kick out of when we were talking about like old band merch and like cartoon merch and stuff like that. I still want My Children, My Bride to make a Circle the Sky shirt where it's like the Are You a Robot thing on the computer and it has like pictures of like the sky, a stop sign and stuff like that. And then they circle the sky.
The what are
Like
the captcha type thing?
exactly, like where it's like, are you a robot? And it has like 9 pictures, and there's like 3 skies, and then just random pictures, and all the skies are circled.
Dude, that is true. Merch used to be way better back in the day.
Yeah, for sure, but
Boring now.
cool,
But
man.
all right, man.
Well,
Well,
good to catch
yeah,
up. We're gonna
that's
be jumping on in just a couple days for the band one coming up.
yeah.
So Josh
Come
will be with
check
us.
that out. We're talking about A Day to Remember. I don't know if that was a secret.
Nope, not a secret.
Okay,
So
well, it's not a
I
secret
think
anymore.
yeah, this will come out and then data on
Hmm.
Thursday and then data remember on Monday. So
Yeah.
cool.
So come check out. Let's just talk about A Day to Remember. I got a bunch of what I think pretty funny stories. We've had some good times at A Day to Remember.
We've
So
had good times at a day to remember. So, and also their band that's gone downhill. So
true
we'll
that.
talk
But
about
yeah.
that.
So if you want to tell us how dumb we are, let us know.
We
That's
would
probably
actually
it.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So all
Peace.
right, cool. Thanks, man.